Hey YouTube, welcome to your third online multiplayer FPS tutorial, and decided to save the time of launching Unity every tutorial, so I'm just gonna start off right here. Alright, so back where we left off, we're gonna make shotgun mode, but before we do that, shotgun and burst fire of course, but before we do that, we first need to add spread, right? Then recoil of course, don't worry, everything will come in nicely. Right, so here, delete this print. We know it's firing. We don't need it. Now, I've come up with a simple line to calculate what you call spread, fire spread from transform position raycasting. You know, if you're raycasting from a position of a transform and not to a screen point, then you need a different calculation. Well, not completely different calculation, but we need to do something differently. Because obviously you're not casting from a ray, you're casting from a transform from a vector 3, excuse me, to a vector 3. So we need a different line, and let me just get that, and I'll explain everything in it. I just don't like typing it out. Copy this from another project and paste this right here, and delete this line. We don't need it either. Alright, now let me tell you exactly what's going on here. So we have our spread variable, right? It's a float, and we have a function called random range, which returns a random number between the two given numbers, right? So now what we do is we do transform direction on a new vector 3. In JavaScript you don't always need to type new, but I'll just type new so you get it. On a new vector 3 object, meaning on a new coordinate, and that coordinate stands at 1 on the z-axis, and then a random coordinate, a random point on the x-axis, and the random point on the y-axis. And the reason I multiplied that by 0.002 and 0.001 is because these return regular numbers, but regular numbers are really far coordinates, you know, and we want to keep it like in a middle range. And if we use like regular numbers, it will end up here and here and here and here and here. So we just need to tone down the volume of the random function return. So we just multiply that by 0.0001 or 0.02 just to tone down, you know, how much how much spread we're giving out. Alright, so now that we got that in, take the variable bullet direction and replace it with transform direction forward. Right, now let's test out our spread before we go in. Make spread 10. Oh, and change that to automatic if you don't already have it on automatic. Right, now let's try that. There, you see we got a little spread. If you make the spread bigger, it will spread more. Say 50. See? Alright, functioning well. Now moving on. Right, so you see now we in shotgun mode we need to like cast multiple shots, meaning we need multiple sparks to hit and multiple ray casts. So we're gonna raycast multiple rays at once using a loop, which is quite easy. But the problem here really, I think, is the sparks, right? You only have one spark. The one object can't be at multiple positions at the same time, right? So what we need to do is we need to make multiple objects. But now we want to have like a variable to control the number of shots on the shotgun, right? We don't want to create new spark objects every time we want more shots on the shotgun, right? So what we're gonna have to do is, by the way, don't worry about the sparks for now. We'll replace them with effects, and they won't be visible at all unless you shoot them. You know, they'll be visible only when you shoot. So don't worry. But first of all, we need to make a new function, right? So function fire s for fire shotgun, right? And then we need to give it a place in our code. So just copy this, paste it right here, and replace semi-automatic with gun type dot shotgun. Right, and then change the function fire A to fire S, and you can change it to get button up or get button if you want to. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna leave it at get button up. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave it at get button. Right. Anyway, so now before we start looping and making lots of arrays, we need to first get our sparks right. So let's have like a secret little array that makes sparks out of a given number. Well, we give it number, and it makes an amount of sparks out of it, right? Amount of objects out of it. So first, we need a new variable, var number of shots. It is of type int, very important that it will be integer, and this will serve us for both shotgun and burst fire. Number of shots is the number of shots it does in one burst, and here it's the number of shots it does at once. Anyways, so now on start, so let's just type your function start. Right when we're starting the game, we want to create these new spark objects, and we want to store them in our array. So let's first make an array, make it private. We don't, the editor of the game doesn't need to see it. It's secret. No, not secret, but it's not relevant to him. So let's call this sparks array. Alright, yeah, pretty good name. Pretty bad name, but you can call it whatever you want. Just make sure to change it with me. And we'll make it of type transform. It will be a transform array. And to make the difference between a transform and transform array is these two. And before you put stuff in the array, you need to initialize it. So sparks array equals new transform. Now we need to put the length of the array, and the length of the array should be equal to the number of shots, because the length of the array is equal to the amount of sparks we're going to have. So number of shots is exactly what to put there. Now simple loop. Hold on. Alright, sorry, I had to use the restroom. Anyway, so we need to make a quick loop. So now we want to do for each number of shots, or for sparks array dot length, it doesn't matter. For var I equals 0, I is less than. Let me just put number of. No, we'll just put sparks dot length. I like to use the length when I'm dealing with arrays. Array dot. Why is it not giving me that automatic correction thing? Never mind. Sparks dot length I plus plus. Cool. Alright. And now all we need to do is instantiate a new transform and put it in the current array cell. So sparks array I equals instantiate. I think I spelled that right. Instantiate. That's a complicated word. And then here put sparks, because we want to make clones of the original sparks. So sparks dot position and sparks dot rotation. Wunderbar. Okay. Now we need to fire the gun. Finally, fire and put all the sparks to their position. Now notice this is only done once, so if you change the number of shots during the game, then it won't make any more shots. So just know that. It'll be meaningless, the numbers you add to this after the game started. So these will be only this will only execute when the game starts. So if you started the game and you added more shots or taking down more shots, it won't take any effect. So just know that. If you do want to take effect, then put it right here, but make sure you delete the previous ones. Well, it's complicated. Don't put it down here at all. Alright, so let's first loop over all our sparks. So for int, I'm used to C#, right? For I equals 0, I less than sparks array dot length I plus plus. Alright, now we just need to copy this out of here, right into here. Tab that in. And make sure we don't minus bullets for each bullet we fire. We minus for each shell we fire. So grab that, put it in here. Okay. We just copy, pasted in the array, and took out the mag minus minus. Very simple till now. And now what we need to do is, instead of sparks dot position, we want sparks array I dot position. Excellent. Right, and I think we'll be ready to go. Let's give it a test. All right. Number of shots will be 12. Spread 60. And of type shotgun. Excellent. All right. Now let's fire it. Bam. We get a shotgun pattern on the wall. You know, excellent. We can even make it more concentrated if you want a better shotgun. Just like that. And I can just keep it pressed because it's according to my fire rate. But I'm going to make it a shotgun fire rate. Boom. There we go. It's a regular pump action shotgun fire rate. Alright, now we haven't got much time, so let's make this quick. We are going to make the burst fire script. Alright, so what we want to do in the burst fire script is we want to fire the function A is the number of shots, right? So fire B for fire burst, right? Now let me think. Hold on. Alright, excuse me. Okay, so first of all, let's give it a segment. No. And change that to dot burst fire B. Excellent. And now, because we're using this regular fire rate for time in between the shots of the burst, we're going to do fire rate times number of shots. Right? Just, you know. Okay, anyways. So what we first want to do is a counter to count how many shots we've already fired. So private var shots left. Make that of type int. Right, and now when we fire the first time, we want to set shots left. Excuse me, I keep getting bothered. Alright, so now let's set shots left to number of shots. Right? Oh, and we want to do this get button up, because it's not automatic, it's semi-automatic. Alright, now if shots left is bigger than 0, then do fire A, which will also subtract 1 from our magazine. So if you want, you know, each burst to take only 1 bullet, then to do 3 shots but take 1 bullet, then you gotta put this mag minus minus somewhere else. And so we want to fire A, and oh yeah, first we want to check if it's time to fire. So if time is bigger than, and now we need another next fire. So private var, you just call this next shot, type float. You know what, we'll just set like next fire to 0.0 is bigger than next shot. Then close that and set next shot equal to time plus fire rate. Great. Oh, and last but not least, whoops, hold on, getting disturbed. Sorry, I keep getting disturbed. Sorry, I keep pausing. Alright, where was I? Yeah, we need to subtract each time we shoot. We also need to subtract shots left. So shots left minus minus. And here, instead of not instead of, plus, in addition to this, we need to ask ourselves if and then if shots left is equal to 0. So if shots left is equal to 0, equal to or less than, just to be sure, meaning if we're not currently firing, then fire. Alright, now let's give this a test. Okay, let's set that to burst fire mode. Number of shots will be 3. We'll make it accurate. Okay. Right. Whoops. Forgot an S there. Shots left. Let's see what else Unity wants. Nothing. Great. Let's test run this. But we can't yet see how it works because we don't have the recall yet. Alright. So next tutorial I'm gonna put in the recall, and then we can finally test the burst fire, because we can't really see when the gun's firing or not because we don't have any effects or kickback. So next tutorial we'll do that. We'll add effects and kickback and everything. So keep tuning in, and bye bye.